Olá, boa tarde. Bem-vindos ao nosso programa A Terra é um Só País, um espaço de autoria da comunidade Baha'i de Portugal. Hoje temos connosco Homa Tavangar, autora e consultora. Vamos falar um pouco com ela. In the Western world, we are living a tremendous crisis. Social crisis, economic crisis, financial crisis. Are we going down into chaos, or are there some good news?
Well, it's very complex, but I think that some of our solutions can come through simple steps that each of us takes individually. And I think that one of the crises that we have is this crisis with our relationship with globalization and who we are as citizens in a world that's very connected. And I work with adults, with executives and corporations, but I also work with children and educators. And the way to approach this problem is not so different for a 5-year-old child as the CEO of a corporation. There is a way to start embracing the world, to see yourself not fearing the opening up of the world, but to love it, embrace it, make friends with all in the world. And so I wrote a book, Growing Up Global, Raising Children to Be at Home in the World. It helps give steps for parents to do this with their children, and educators can use those tools, and so can executives.
So what you're saying is that we can change the world if we educate our children properly?
I think so. Even if it's not so properly, we can change the world. It's really, the key is our children, the new generation that we can raise up. Many of us feel, well, I'm too old to change, but my children can change. I'm not I don't understand this crazy world. I don't understand the internet. I don't understand what's happening, but I want my children to understand. And people will do anything for their children. And so our children are the hope, and I have a lot of hope in the future.
We're talking about Baha'i faith, Baha'i principles, but if we look at the history of mankind, religious has caused a lot of suffering. So it's natural that some people are suspicious of yet another religion. What would you say to them?
Well, I think that it's also realistic to have suspicion in the old model of religion that is about war and conquering. But again, we live in this day and age where that is not adequate. So we need to look at religion with a fresh eye and look at what can bring us together. So there are also many ways that parents can teach their children based on these Baha'i principles of understanding the common elements that we all share, like love, like gratitude, patience, kindness. The golden rule is a universal in every religion. So we can start, again, our children are a fresh, blank, clean slate. We can start by teaching them the golden rule is something in every religion. So we can embrace that and understand. And then as we make friends with people from different backgrounds, begin to have intelligent, open-minded conversations with them to understand this is part of our shared history as a humanity. And now what do we need to do? We need to have these open conversations where we're learning from each other. And I think that it will teach us to be more loving also by listening. And all the religions can teach us this.
So you believe that religion today still makes sense?
Well, religion today, but with a new model, a fresh breath into religion. And that is this idea of living in one world, and religion is not about conquering the enemy, it's more about conquering our own hearts to move forward.
How would you invite someone to investigate the Baha'i faith?
Well, I think it's easier than ever. You can just go on the internet. I like a website called Baha'i.org, BAHAI.org. I think there are Baha'is in every country and every city. So I also talk about this in Growing Up Global, because I think one way to learn about our global citizenship is to find out what people believe. So you can look online, do an internet research, but nothing beats face-to-face. So you'll find lots of information. Some of it is not true about any religion, but if you meet somebody and just have a conversation, a very open-hearted, open-minded conversation, and really investigate for ourselves. We live in an age where we all have access to learning, and this process of learning is a gift, and we can use this gift to bring people together. If you want to call it religion, if you want to call it a search, if you want to call it spirituality, it doesn't matter what you call it. It's all part of a bigger process that's more than materialism. And it goes back to the crisis of the world is rooted in materialism. So if we look to spirituality, that can be a great help.
And one final question. What is your favorite quote from the Baha'i writings?
Favorite quote? Oh, I have a lot. Let's think. Well, the one I mentioned is, be a friend to the whole human race. Let's see. Another quote, there are many, but one quote that applies to this topic also is, let your vision be world-embracing rather than confined to your own self. Let your thoughts be fixed upon that which will rehabilitate the fortunes of mankind and sanctify the hearts and souls of men and women.
Homa Tavangar, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Foi o nosso programa A Terra um Só País, um espaço de autoria da comunidade Baha'i de Portugal. Se desejar mais informações, pode consultar. Os endereços têm estado a passar em rodapé. Despeço-me de si, adeus, boa tarde e até ao próximo programa.